Ever wonder why people who seem to have it all, massive lottery wins, six-figure salaries, even celebrity-level incomes, end up completely broke? It's not bad luck. It's not stupidity. It's something far more unsettling. There's a system at play, a game with rules that most of us were never taught. And unless you figure out those rules, you'll spend your entire life running on a treadmill that goes nowhere. Take Alex Toth, for example. Florida man wins $13 million in 1990. He chose annual payments, $666,666 every single year. Sounds like a dream, right? Fast forward a few years. Toth blew it all on cars, houses, parties. Eventually, his marriage collapsed. The IRS came after him for tax fraud, and he ended up checking into a mental health facility. By 2008, he was dead at 60, with nothing left. Or consider Gerald Muswagon from Canada, who won $10 million on a $2 lottery ticket in 2011. Within a few years, he'd burned through it all. Big parties, luxury cars, gifts for everyone. 7 years later, struggling to support his 6 kids on a farm job, he took his own life in his parents' garage. These aren't isolated incidents. Studies show that a shocking number of lottery winners face bankruptcy, legal troubles, and personal disasters within years of their windfall. But it's not just lottery winners. High earners are drowning too. People making over $100,000 a year, supposedly living the dream, are still broke at the end of every month. Some even finance their DoorDash orders because they can't cover a $20 meal. We live in one of the wealthiest nations in history, yet nobody seems to have any money. How does that even happen? The answer is simple but brutal. From the moment we're kids, we're taught to see money as something to spend, not something to build with. School taught you algebra and chemistry, but did anyone ever sit you down and explain compounding interest? Did they teach you how to read a balance sheet or understand tax strategies? Of course not. Schools weren't designed to make you wealthy. They were designed to produce workers, dependable, disciplined, compliant workers who show up, clock in, and don't ask too many questions. And here's the kicker. Even when financial literacy programs do pop up, they fail spectacularly. A major study analyzed over 200 research papers on financial education and found that these programs explain only 0.1% of the difference in people's actual financial behaviors. That's basically nothing. Why? Because knowing facts doesn't change habits. You can memorize the rule of 72 or learn what a Roth IRA is, but if you don't address the behavioral and emotional side of money, the real reasons people overspend, go into debt, or avoid saving, none of that knowledge sticks. So what trap are most people caught in? It's what I call the consumption cycle. You earn money, you spend it, you get a raise, your expenses magically rise to match it. Every windfall gets cancelled out by a new purchase or a new debt. The system is designed this way. Advertisers bombard you with messages telling you that happiness is just one purchase away. Credit cards make it effortless to spend money you don't have. Social media turns your life into a competition where your worth is measured by the car you drive, the vacations you post, the clothes you wear. It's exhausting and it never ends. And the scariest part, even people making serious money aren't safe. Studies show that 62% of people earning over $300,000 a year still struggle with credit card debt. Millennials now report being more afraid of running out of money than they are of dying. Think about that for a second. We've created a culture where financial anxiety is literally more terrifying than death itself. But here's where it gets interesting. Managing your spending is important, don't get me wrong. You absolutely need to face your numbers, track your expenses, build a budget, and create an emergency fund. Financial defense keeps you in the game, but defense alone doesn't win championships. You can cut out Starbucks, skip brunch, and pinch every penny until your face turns blue. The best you'll achieve is being comfortably not broke. Nobody builds generational wealth by skipping lattes. Real wealth comes from the other side of the equation, production. Before I continue, I'm Adam Invests, and I spend a lot of time breaking down money, compounding, and why so many people get stuck in the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. If you're serious about learning how wealth is actually built, not just wishing for it, make sure to hit subscribe and tap the like button if this video gives you value. Production means creating value and capturing part of it. It's identifying a problem, building a solution, and delivering that solution at scale. Think about Warren Buffett. He didn't become one of the richest men alive by cutting coupons. Elon Musk didn't build an empire by avoiding avocado toast. They mastered their spending, sure, but the real wealth came from ownership, leverage, and creating systems that worked for them while they slept. Robert Kiyosaki calls this the cash flow quadrant. There are 4 ways people earn income: employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. The first 2, you trade your time for money. You work for someone else. The second 2, money works for you. You own assets, build businesses, and create systems. That's it. It sounds simple, but it's the one thing school never taught you. Why? Because if everyone knew how to play the real money game, who would show up to clock in every day? So, what are the hidden rules that the wealthy quietly exploit? Let me break them down. First, compounding. This is the most powerful force in finance. Your money earns money, which earns more money, and it snowballs from there. Time is your multiplier. Start early, and the game bends in your favor. Second, leverage. The rich don't just trade hours for wages. They use tools, capital, technology, media, and people to multiply their efforts. They build systems that generate outcomes, not paychecks. Third, ownership. The wealthy don't just work for businesses, they own them. Equity beats wages every single time. That's where wealth accumulates. Fourth, taxes. Here's something they'll never tell you in school. The rich are taxed differently. Workers pay the highest rates, while owners, investors, and asset holders use the system itself as a shield. And fifth, income streams. The average millionaire has 7 of them. Capital gains from buying and selling stocks, interest income from lending money, earned income from a job, profit income from flipping assets, rental income from property, dividends from stocks, royalties from intellectual property. These are the rails to real wealth. These rules aren't secret. They're just not taught. And because they're not taught, most people never play by them. Some folks say, but 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Why even try? Here's my answer. Do you have another choice? If you don't play offense, you stay stuck in the race forever, and life is short. The average person lives about 78 years. That's 78 summers, 78 falls, 78 birthdays. It terrifies me to think about wasting even one. So, how do you stop being a pawn and start making the rules? It starts with a mindset shift. Stop seeing your paycheck as something to spend. Start seeing it as fuel for freedom. If you earn wages, great. That's your seed capital. Use it wisely. Step 1. Escape the consumption trap. Track every dollar. Build that emergency fund. Get out of high-interest debt. Buy yourself time to think and plan. Step 2. Channel your surplus into production. Invest in assets, businesses, ownership, even if it's just a small slice. In the long run, ownership is the only real escape from the treadmill. Step 3. Learn the rules. Study compounding. Understand leverage. Master taxes. The earlier you figure this out, the faster the game tilts in your favor. Here's your roadmap. Audit your relationship with money. Write down every single dollar coming in and going out. Shine a light on the numbers you've been avoiding. Build your budget. Create that fund. Clear your debt. Once you stabilize, shift your focus from cutting to creating. Move into production and ownership, whether through a side hustle, a small business, or equity at your job. Find a way to own a piece of the value you're creating. Money isn't evil. It's not good either. It's simply a mirror, a reflection of the choices you make. The same $100 can buy something that destroys your future or fund something that builds it. The same paycheck can vanish into liabilities or grow into assets that compound over decades. Same tool, totally different outcome. Most people spend their lives as players in a game they never designed, but you don't have to. Once you understand the hidden rules, once you realize the system was never built to set you free, you can start building your own system. And when you do, You stop being a pawn. You become the architect of your wealth. The rat race doesn't end by running faster. It ends by changing the game you're playing. The time to start is now.